Wanderers, are you looking to fill your stash tabs with Mythic Uniques in Season 11? A lot of things have changed, but there is a really great way, and it is kind of rare, to farm a massive amount of these Mythic Uniques. We'll talk about some strategies that will help you maximize the amount that you're getting, where to get them, and then what that very special item is that we're going to be talking about. First, we're going to start with some of the older methods that may not be as effective in this season. In previous seasons, you used to be able to come over to your reputation board here. You could go back through over and over again, and then you could do your Resplendent Spark simply by purchasing a scroll or something like that in order to increase this rank and unlock this Resplendent cash right away very quickly. We have no more turn in this season. You're going to have to earn your reputation back the old-fashioned way. That is still a method. If you want to start an alt, you can level up that alt, you can go get reputation, you can take somebody with you into the pits or into the Undercity, somewhere that's going to be really great for getting this experience, and then you can get your caches by creating another character, leveling up this. That is probably one of the slower methods, but it is a guaranteed way. Once you have enough sparks, and you can see your Resplendent Sparks in your stats here, you just come down, we have 12 Resplendent Sparks. You can come over to your jeweler here if you have the expansion pack. You're going to go to craft runes and you can craft the Mythic Uniques that you need. Now, in order to tell which one you want, on the very bottom here, it says show materials. If you're on a controller, all you're going to do is just hit the show materials on the bottom here so you can see the different buttons. You show the materials and it shows you exactly how many of each of them you need. They do have to be in your inventory for you to see how many of each you need. So put all your legendaries into your bags before you look at the show items. So this way you can see exactly what you need. If you do not have the expansion pack, you can actually come over here to the blacksmith, and then you can go to your equipment tab here, forge equipment. You can craft a mythic cache. Now this is completely random. It does require 2 Resplendent Sparks and 50 million gold. And you cannot specifically target the Mythic Unique that you want. But if you do have enough sparks, you can constantly keep on gambling on this and hope that you get the right one. So that is the old method of having to get those. In this season, from what I've noticed, and I haven't really done a ton of bossing, but I have done enough to know that they are dropping relatively often because I haven't done a lot, but I still have seen one drop. Another way that you might not know about is if you come over here to the Purveyor of Curiosity, you can get your Mythic Uniques while gambling. Now, you cannot target specific ones. Gambling on a helmet will not guarantee you to get a Harlequin's Crest. You can be gambling on gloves and you can get a Harlequin's Crest that way. This is not the most efficient way, but it is possible. So it is very important that you do spend your obols. You can get any one of the Mythic Uniques from any of these slots as long as your character can use them. Now, that plays a part in everything. You cannot craft mythics that your character cannot use, and you can also not have them drop, and you cannot get them from gambling. So you will always have to be on whatever character you want to get them for in order to use those. Mythic Uniques can drop from anywhere, and we've actually had a lot of reported mythics dropping from Azmodan. You can come right down here and you can do Azmodan. It's the new seasonal invasion. Azmodan is part of the seasonal mechanics that have been added on. The Lesser Evils have taken over Sanctuary. And this is a basically world boss fight that anybody can join in at any point, and you can summon them. How this works is when you come down to Azmodan, you're actually going to be faced with several chests when you clear the fight. And each one of those chests will have the option to turn in all of the reputation that you're going to be earning throughout all of the different areas. You go to Helltides, you go to the Undercity, you go to the pits. All of those are going to grant you these materials here. They're going to be your corrupted Eye of Belial. That's going to come from the pits. You're going to have your corrupted Eye of Andariel from the Undercity, and then you're going to have your Horns of Duriel. Now, they can actually drop from more locations than just that, but you can see these chests here. These chests, once you unlock these, which I can't do because I wasn't part of the fight, but you can summon Azmodan from right here, and that forces Belial. You complete this quest line, and then you turn in and make sure you have at least 5 of these. And people have said that they've gotten a lot of Mythic Uniques from this. These are all really, really great ways to get Mythic Uniques. Now, what is going to be the best way to do it? This one is going to require a very specific Nightmare Dungeon key. Now, I don't have any on me, but we do have a picture of it. It's going to look like this here. It's going to be the Mythic Prankster. This will get you into a dungeon, and the mythic prankster is called Fedric. And let me tell you, Fedric drops a lot. This is what it looked like. This was the very first one that I got to do. 5 different mythic uniques plus a bag. Now, inside of this bag, Fedric's masterpiece here, you're going to get a spark, and you're also going to get 3 legendary runes. So that will help towards your crafting, and legendary runes are always great to have. So how do you get these? Now, that is the question that everybody's asking. What is the best method? There's a couple different tips that I'm going to give you. Now, we did a little bit of farming to see where you can get sigil powder, because sigil powder is how you're going to craft those. With your sigil powder, and we'll show you what it looks like crafting a couple of these nightmare dungeons, you come over to the occultist here. You're going to go to craft sigils. I have enough to craft 10. You can see your materials here. It costs 60. I have 600 of it. We craft your 10 sigils here. And now it gives us all of these sigils, and you can go and you can look to see if you got your dungeon here. I did not get any of the mythic dungeons, but I did get a treasure breach, which I'm going to have a video coming out on farming. This is absolutely broken for this season and for one of the main bottlenecks in the season, but that'll be for another video. Make sure that you favorite any of the nightmare dungeons that you have found that you do want, because you can come right over here and then you can go to all keys. You can salvage all of those keys, and then you can go right back over and then you can craft them again. Now, we crafted 10. I salvaged 9. I can only craft 2. So there's not a 1-to-1 conversion, which does make sense. So you can keep on salvaging until you run out. Now, what's the best way to farm sigil powder? We have done a little bit of testing. We've got more to do. I did the main sources. Now, in any of these materials here, you can actually go to the material itself. You can hover over it and you can see where it drops from. This one is collected from the Tree of Whisper Caches. I did a couple of those, and we'll talk about that in a second. Events, so any of the events throughout Helltides, all of those will drop yours, and we'll get some data on that too. Elite monsters doesn't drop a ton. Salvaging, which we just did, and then your tortured gifts in Helltides, which is going to be the chests that you unlock in Helltides. What we found is that the mystery chest, which is the most expensive one, only gives 26. That means you need to open 3 of them in order to do 1 sigil. Your regular chests are 15, so you're going to have to open a lot of them. Regular whisper caches are great if you can do a couple of those, but you still need to do several whisper caches if you want to craft a big batch of them. So what is going to be the end-all, be-all way to get a whole boatload of sigils? You can probably get about 10 to 12 of them an hour just by doing this method here. If we go back into the game and you look at your divine gifts have this really little small caveat that can be missed very easily. This one right down here, and this is going to change around the way that you do world bosses. World bosses are on a much faster timer. This right here, if you survive the world boss encounter, you cannot die. You're going to earn activity keys. Those are going to be your Nightmare Dungeon sigils. Now, on top of that, if you put this in the purified section, you double that reward. If you have this set up like this, you're going to double the lair keys that you get. So if you want to do bosses, you can do that right here. But this Nightmare Dungeon right here, if you have it set up like this, this is what it's going to look like. This was after one of the bosses here. You can see all of the Nightmare Dungeon sigils that have dropped. There is a ton of them. I had more than I could even pick up in one batch. I had to go through them, search for them. Then I had to drop them, make sure that they looked good, go back, pick them all up. This is going to be probably the best way, and why doing world bosses are so important. Now, there is a little bug right now where they are basically a PvP zone and people are getting killed. So just be careful, fight with caution. You have to survive the world boss in order to get this done. So don't just AFK because the world boss still has to die, but fight from afar and make sure that you survive the world bosses in order to maximize your efficiency in getting your Nightmare Dungeon sigils. Now, what is the best way to maximize these Nightmare Dungeons? Definitely a rotation. And what a rotation is, it's going to be you find a party that has a treasure breach. You can have them link it to you so that you know that they have it, because you can't link something that you don't have in your inventory. And a really great way to do that would be actually here to join the Discord server. It is incredibly active. As you see, there are people constantly chatting. We have a looking for group channel here for people that are looking to do anything in the game. And if you hop into the Discord voice, there are people in there constantly playing, partying up, helping each other out. This will maximize the way that you can do these nightmare dungeons. You get a party of 4. You have now multiplied it by 4 times. If you're doing the nightmare dungeon mythic runs, you have 20 mythics that you can get in just a couple minutes. So maximizing the way that you can get these runs done is incredibly important. That is the last tip that I got for you today. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, make sure you share it with your friends. Thank you everybody for watching. I'm live every night. I'd love it if you stopped by, said hi, theory crafted with me. Catch you on the clip side.